Okay, take two. Good. Sorry for being a little bit late, and sorry for the false start there. But I'm broadcasting from a different part of the house today, so I hope it works. It's Saturday morning cartoons, the first Saturday morning cartoon of the month of May, and I had something kind of really more esoterically serious planned for today, but I've got an email this morning asking about if I read tarot cards, and if so, what spread do I use? Well, the answer is yes, I do read tarot cards, but I didn't do it for many, many years because I was sort of remotely educated by the BOTA folks, the good folks at the Builders of the Adytum Correspondence course in the Paul Foster Case magnificent material. And it stressed the sort of Kabbalistic meditative virtues of tarot study and practice. Tarot is a self-transformational tool, in other words, and that there was a warning that reading tarot cards would cripple you spiritually. Well, I took that, quite seriously, and never, for years, never dreamed of kind of seriously reading tarot cards. To do it in a divinatory manner for myself is just nearly impossible. Everybody also tells me this. It's very difficult to read for yourself. Personally, I'm just so prone to lie to myself all the time. It's just, and tarot being an oracle of a mercurial nature, the Book of Thoth and all of that. And Mercury is the god of liars. Mercury will tell you the truth by lying to you, and lie to you by telling you the truth. So, and I just fall right into that trap. I'll just lay, the Tower card crosses the Death card after judgment. And I'll go, oh, I was hoping that would happen. Oh, good. That means good luck for Lon. But when I first started to crack out the Thoth deck at a party very, very early in my career, I would just sort of lay out the cards and allow my what do they call it? Free association to take over my ramblings. And I didn't know it at the time, but me being in touch with that free association space in my toolbox was probably the best thing I could probably do in order to arrange to set myself up as the vehicle of the oracle for reading for others. But over the year, and at first I used classic spread like the Celtic Cross spread, which is a wonderful spread, but it puts the cards in sort of like a field space. This is you, this crosses you, this opposes you, this is on the top of your mind, this is a subconscious of your mind. These are events that happened in the recent future, these are events that are likely to result from that, and this is you, your home, your environment, And finally, way up at the 10th or 11th card, you've got the outcome. Well, I'm sort of uncomfortable with that because that sort of divorces not only me, but the querent from speculating anything other than the field position of that card. So, in my book, Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot, toward the very, it's the brand new, a new introduction, a new preface. This isn't the first edition of this book. It's the second, like a 25-year anniversary edition or something. And so I wrote a new preface to it. So if you got the old first edition of this book, which is a little more golden in color, you don't have this. But this is what I'm going to share with you because it's my own. I want to share with you my own DuQuette roll with the flow spread, if you can even call it that. So hang on for a second and let me see where I want to start, because it's Saturday and I don't want to take too much of your time. And I don't have much light here today. Crowley focused primarily on tarot as a Kabbalistic tool, a psychic reprogramming device, a meditation aid, a magical weapon. Even though his magical diaries were peppered with entries concerning tarot divinations and readings, he did for himself and others, readings he did for himself and others. His Book of Thoth says relatively little about tarot divination, and toward the tarot as a divinatory tool. Toward the end of the book, he more or less outlines the tedious and complex Golden Dawn 5-stage procedure that seemed patently designed to inflict a terminal inferiority complex upon any would-be tarot reader. I regret that for the first edition of Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot, I chose to hide behind a facade of being a Crowley purist and simply reproduce the not-so-practical divination material Crowley included in the Book of Thoth. So, I confess, I no longer use the Crowley Golden Dawn method for practitioners. After only a few years of exasperating attempts, I threw up my hands and developed my own method. So, to answer 15 years of email messages, I'm now going to share with you my own technique of reading tarot cards. If not Crowley, it's not Crowley, it's not the Golden Dawn, but it works for me, and I make a good percentage of my yearly income as a professional tarot consultant. DuQuette's roll with the flow spread. I guess we could say this technique is intuitive and organic. It literally rolls with the flow of the querent's unique and sometimes changing focus of inquiry. When I say changing focus of inquiry, if you're a tarot reader, you're likely to regularly encounter a client that thinks they know what they want to find out from a tarot reading. They think they have a question, but it's not the question. Now, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 attempts. In other words, okay, we'll ask that as a question. And then the cards will initiate a discussion. And in that discussion, you find out that that's not really what the client wants to know. They really want to know that because they want to know something else. And sometimes it takes 40 minutes of going back and forth and a couple of abortive tarot readings to actually draw out the question that the client wants answered. Oh, but I digress. Where was I? The first and most important thing that needs to be determined is, what is the real question? It is seldom what the questioner believes it to be at the beginning of the operation. Get to the heart of what the real question is, and you will find the answer glaring at you from every observable phenomenon. Sometimes, using the method outlined below, you may have to do it more than one preliminary reading just to draw out what really is on the questioner's mind. I could have saved myself that digression. This part of the reading is very important because when the questioner has come face to face with the real query, they already know in their heart what the answer is. After the questioner shuffles the deck to his or her satisfaction, spread the cards face up on the table in a large horseshoe. Now, if you're reading tarot cards over the telephone or over Zoom or over Skype or Facebook Messenger, even in that little box at the bottom, but in any case where the querent is in another location and you have to do the shuffling, I tell the querent, okay, just relax, but don't try to clear your mind. You can't clear your mind. If you're a Buddha, you could clear your mind, but you're not Buddha, so don't try to clear your mind. Go ahead and just relax, but just wallow in your inquiry, wallow in your frustration, be distracted by the anxiety that led you to the crazy ass thing of calling a person on the telephone for a tarot reading. And you just listen to me shuffle while you wallow in your issue. And when you sense that I've shuffled enough, tell me to stop. And that's how I remotely ask the querent to shuffle. After the questioner shuffles the deck to his or her satisfaction, spread the cards face up on a table in a large horseshoe. Find the significator, the knight, the queen, or the prince, representing the 30-degree period of the year in which the questioner's birthday falls. At least that's what I use as the significator. So I'm July 11th, so my significator is the Queen of Cups. Cut the deck at the significator and reassemble the deck. Lay the significator toward the top of the table to remind you both who the questioner is in the tarot. Next, draw from the top of the deck the next 3 cards, and I've got them labeled 1A, 2A, and 3A, like, let's see, like that. There's a significator at the top, and then 1, 2, 3. Instead of these 3 A-level cards representing past, present, and future, or 3 other such defined field positions, simply use these 3 cards to announce or to determine 3 aspects or factors of the question or the issue. Just start off by commenting on each card and then discuss it just in general terms, whatever falls out of your head as you discuss the general meaning of the card. Explain how it harmonizes or conflicts with the other 2 cards. At this point in the session, we simply want the questioner to tentatively recognize major aspects of the issue possibly represented by these 3 cards. Usually, after a brief discussion, the questioner becomes comfortable with how each of the 3 cards represents these issues. Note, if you or the questioner absolutely cannot see aspects of the question in these 3 cards, reshuffle and begin again. But now I'm going to stop me right there. I would say a good 80% of the time in readings that I do with people and the discussion that I have with them concerning these 3 cards and me questioning them back and forth how these cards do relate to the issue. And remember that with Tarot of Ceremonial Magic, with every deck, but each of the cards, small cards and court cards, have days of the year assigned to it, either 30-degree periods or 10-degree periods. And very, very often, the cards also flag certain dates that are important to the issue at hand. This is when I got fired. Oh my God, that's when that's when I have to go to court, or things like that. But I digress. And now I can't see. The next step is to encourage the questioner to personally take control of the reading by selecting which of the 3 cards or aspects of the question intrigues them the most. In our hypothetical example below, let the questioner pretty much understand the message of the cards 1A and 3A are telling, but the questioner is intrigued by the card 2A. In other words, oh, I get what 1A is talking about. I understand what 3A is talking about, but what the hell is 2A about? So, create a second or B level by drawing the next 2 cards from the top of the deck, and we'll call that 4B and 5B, and lay left to right below that 2A card that they want to know about. These 2 cards define or expand upon the meaning of 2A. And that's that. It'd be like that. Okay, this querent says, okay, I sort of get what 1A was about, and I sort of get what 2A, excuse me, that's a 3A, that you're looking at 3A. But I want to know what 2A is about. So you draw 2 more cards, 4 and 5, and that's at the B level. And those 2 cards make a comment or expand or dilate on the meaning of that 2A. Now, even though this is more information, we're also moving away from the hardcore, pure answer that was given in 1, 2, and 3. So even though we got more details on 2, we're moving away from the absolute truth. We're diluting the truth. So even though we have more detail, those details can sidetrack us and make us focused on minutia rather than on the big general answer. Okay, where are we? Discuss the meaning and relationships of those 2 new cards. If you or the questioner are still unclear about that final answer, then create a 3rd level by drawing 1 card from the top of the deck, and that would be 6C. Like that. So 6C comments on 4 and 5B, and 4 and 5B, and all of that is a comment on that 2A. Okay. Note, if the questioner absolutely does not understand the answer, it's better to reshuffle and begin again, perhaps asking a better worded question. This is why it's good to charge by the hour. When done with great attention and self-honesty, this almost always is enough for a satisfactory reading. If, however, the question sincerely believes they'll need further insight on the other cards, simply draw more cards and repeat the process by creating B and C levels for the other A-level cards. Indeed, there's nothing to stop this reading from going on down as many levels as you feel necessary. However, it's been my experience that the fewer cards, the clearer the answer. The more cards you use, the deeper you descend into micro-specifics that can be unhelpful and make the important aspects of the answer harder to discern. I found that this simple method of allowing the questioner to become the primary participant in his or her own reading to be surprisingly clear and accurate. With so few cards in the spread, the type of card, trump, ace, court card, or small card, becomes significantly, or especially significant. The class rules of thumb are: an abundance of trumps may indicate a destiny moment or a period in the client's life, a grand karmic moment over which they have little or no control. An abundance of small cards points to a moment or period of time in the client's life over which they have much control. Their behavior and decisions can change a lot of things. An abundance of courts might suggest that other people involved are key factors. They might even be identified by birth dates the card represents. An abundance of wands might suggest the client's life purpose, will, career, or business is a key factor. An abundance of cups might suggest issues such as love, art, creativity, or sex are key factors. An abundance of swords might suggest conflict, anxiety, or health matters are a key factor. An abundance of discs might suggest money is a key factor. Get this: dates and astrological geographic information. Dates and specific timing of events are often very important factors of a tarot reading. Crowley points out that in addition to the obvious planetary and zodiacal attributes of the major arcana, the trumps, trump cards, 12 of the 16 court cards, the knights, the queens, and princes, each represent 30 degrees of the year. 20 degrees of one sign to 20 degrees of the next. Furthermore, each of the 36 small cards represent 10-degree periods and reside in groups of 3 inside the 12 court cards. These dates can be extremely helpful in pinpointing exact times pertinent in a reading. And that information's in tables here in this book. Princesses and aces of each suit represent geographic quadrants of the globe. In questions concerning travel or geopolitical matters, this information might become pertinent. And now I bring this mercifully brief new preface to a close. Okay, etc., etc., etc. Okay, that's a quick review of DuQuette's Roll with the Flow tarot spread. It requires a significant amount of engagement with the client in order to make it work, instead of putting forth the tarot reading as a pronouncement from some hidden god, some warning, some omen that the spirits are trying to reach you. The client already knows the answer. The client is their own spirit. And at least in my opinion, a tarot reading is just a good tarot reading if it helps the client listen to their own spirit. Anyway, that's it for today. Tomorrow for Sunday school. I'll probably do what I had in mind today. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.